thank you for joining us, guys. Today we have join us. No,
it binds all things.
Chapter pack unboxing / review.
Force pack.
Force pack, guys. Chapter pack. So you want to start?
Too many games.
Yeah, I'm Angelo.
Angelo, Jesus,
Tree.
This is like the third one today, so.
All right, so we'll start this out with the first Imperial pod that we have here. This is the Admiral's Assault, or Navy pod, I guess it would be.
Imperial Navy.
Yeah. This is a 1 resource, 5 health Hoth objective. It reads, reaction. After this objective enters play, return the topmost fate card in your discard pile to your hand. So, easy enough to pretty assess. It's a 1 resource 5, which is pretty common in the game. It's Hoth, which is really good. You know, the Imperials, and the game in general has a lot of support for Hoth objectives currently because of the last cycle we saw. And the ability to return a fate card, just fantastic. I mean, it's more edge icons, it's another ability you get to trigger again. God forbid it's a twist of fate, you know.
It's okay. It's going to trigger at most twice a game because you can only have it enter play twice a game because you have 2 in your thing. So the objective itself doesn't do that much. It may trigger once and get you back a fate card. But the real meat of this one is Admiral Piet.
Yeah, so next up in the pod is the first character. This is Admiral Piet. He is 5 cost, 3 health, which is good. 3 health is always a fantastic thing to see. He's 2 edge icons, Black Blaster, White Blaster, Character Officer. While this unit is attacking, during the edge battle, resolve the effects and count the force icons of each attached fate card as if it were in your edge stack. Then he has a reaction. After you discard a fate card not named Twist of Fate, very important, from your edge stack, attach it to this unit. So basically what Admiral Piet does is he says, hey, you know what, I'm going to play fate cards throughout the game. I'm going to choose one of those and attach it to Admiral Piet every time I play it. That's not Twist of Fate.
You can trigger that. You can trigger that reaction
numerous times.
Every single fate card you play.
And then you get to re-trigger those fate cards every time you commit him in a challenge. And he's attacking and not defending, importantly enough, but attacking. So this is really cool. I like the idea that now fate cards are actually really powerful in the game. They swing battles both ways a lot of times. And now all of a sudden the Imperials have access to, albeit an expensive character, which the Imperials have a lot of already, but an expensive character that will more than pay for himself time after time by triggering, you know, Hoth fate cards, the ones that are in his own, you know, set, you know, heat of battle, all those wonderful cards that, you know, do additional damage or provide shielding or anything of that nature. It's really good, you know.
He's very, very good with Black Squadron.
Yes.
If you play the a fate card, it gains targeted strike and an extra blast icon.
Important note: if you didn't actually play a fate card into the stack, he resolves them. He doesn't count as actually playing.
Oh, he doesn't count.
Yeah.
However, his pod does come with 3 fate cards.
Yeah.
And assuming you're running 2, so you'll have 6 fate cards starting in your deck before you add in your other 8 pods. You're going to end up with a lot of them.
Well, I think the other benefit you get from him too is something that is really good for the dark side, is that since you count the edge icons as well, the force icons, you could actually win edge battles not having to ever play a card out of your hand.
Absolutely right.
And that is brutal, because that's what you want as an Imperial. You want to have cards going into the rebel, the light side's turn, and to be able to say, I've got 7 icons already attached to them. What are you going to play out of your hand? I mean, you're going to have to dump your entire hand to beat him.
And there are some decks that are built around winning the edge battle, and when you have a single character that just says, whenever I'm attacking, you don't get to win edge, that's going to be big.
Yep. All right, so next up we have Hoth Reinforcements. This is a 2 cost, 1 health character trooper with a white blast damage. Reaction, after a Battle of Hoth fate card resolves, put this unit into play from your discard pile. So as we all know, Battle of Hoth is deal 1 damage or remove 1 damage from a Hoth objective. It's a fairly staple fate card that we've seen around forever.
He has a Hoth objective.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a good all-around character. Recursion is always powerful in any game.
Free guys from the discard pile.
Yeah. And hey, guess what? You attach a Battle of Hoth to Admiral Piet, and this guy just never goes away.
Because it doesn't say it has to be played, it has to resolve.
Yep.
So, and Piet does resolve them.
And yeah, I mean, why not? He's a cool dude to be in the pod. The pod synergizes very well with those.
He's a character and a trooper. Troopers have some tricks.
Yeah.
He's won the life,
Health, but
which dies to, you know, Han. But
if they throw damage at him and then you attack again with Piet, he's back out.
yeah.
If they want to waste damage on that guy, more power to them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Shoot that guy all day.
And next up, we have 3 fate cards. So we have Heat of Battle, Battle of Hoth, and Seeds of Decay. I think Seeds of Decay might be the only one that some players at this point might not be very familiar with. and it's you may place one focus token on a target ready unit that is committed to the Force. You know, kind of a cool concept. It allows you to start focusing down those elite characters early, so maybe you get free focus on them. And
It's kind of like a tactics.
Yeah.
It kind of adds a tactic, and if you put it on Piet, that's kind of like having a free tactics every single time he attacks.
And so to look at it this way, with Piet, if you just have his pod, just his, you're already looking at 7 edge icons
Every time
if
he
you
attacks.
play just the 3 fate cards that are in his pod.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
That's more than having the Emperor in your hand for fate every single turn.
Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, good pod for Imperial Navy. Admiral Piet, I think you'll see him play at least as a 1-of, if not a 2-of in the deck. The fact you get 3 good fate cards, I mean, why not? You know.
Yep.
No resources, which kind of makes it a little hard, but
The one pod I compared it to is from the core set. I believe it's a reconnaissance mission or something like that. It comes with 3 fate cards and 2 copies of the replica droid. I think this is a better pod than that, just because Admiral Piet lets you like if you're putting a pod into your deck to be able to get the fate cards out of it. This one's better because Piet gets you those every single turn while he's in play.
But recon mission is a better objective.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, because it's reserve increased by 1.
Yeah. So I got Green Squadron deployment. It's a 5/1 Liberty. Double the Force icons on all friendly vehicle units that are committed to the Force.
So Rebel can actually like kind of win the Force engage, the Force
Yes.
contest now.
It's one of the weaknesses Rebels had, especially if they go a vehicle, was
One
not
or two
winning.
Force icons.
Yeah, not
So-
winning the Force icon.
Before we move on to the actual pod, I wonder if either of you have seen the answer to this, because when Cub did the spoil on this, they asked the same question and they didn't even have an answer. If you have 2 of these in play, how do you count the edge, the focus, or the...
Since it doesn't say the
Force
way
icons.
I would word it, it does not say double the printed Force icons. Thus, if you have 2 of them in play, the first one, say you have 2 Force icons, for example, the first one doubles it from 2 to 4. The second one would double it from 4 to 8.
Yeah, that's just silly.
That's really powerful.
And I guess the balance to that is that there's not a lot of Rebel ships that have a lot of Force icons.
most
I mean,
of them
one
have
or
1 to 2.
Yeah.
So,
Note that this pod comes with a couple that have 2.
yes, they did.
Next card.
Liberty.
Liberty. It's unique. 5 cost. Has a 2 black blasters, 1 black objective damage, and 1 white objective damage, or edge enabled. It's a vehicle capital ship, 4 health. While this unit is committed to the Force, it gains reaction. After this unit is focused to strike, return a target enemy unit of printed cost 4 or higher to its owner's hand. Bye bye, Palpatine.
And that's what I see this card as. Unfortunately, because it's not elite, it's going to make it difficult to use it turn after turn, which I think was their intent.
And I think the other problem with it is that it needs to be committed to the Force, which means it's not doing it the first time you attack with it.
Yeah,
Which means that if you play this and you have no way to get it on the Force before it on that turn, during the engagement phase, your opponent gets the chance to swing a Palpatine and throw 3 tokens on it, and it never does its trick.
So, funny enough, we have a fate card in this pack, and that's been another pack.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
So Echoes of the Force, which we've already seen anyways, is also in this pack, and it's the last card. But you can commit a unit to the Force, so now all of a sudden I've committed him.
Middle of battle, he's
Yeah,
committed to the Force. Oh, he can trigger his reaction, and if you won the Force, and even Palpatine was defending, bye-bye Palpatine.
Or the opposite, or you used it and you don't want it to get doubled, you can play it, remove it, that way you can still use it next turn.
Yeah. Somebody will build a deck probably to abuse the hell out of it. It's just a matter of how quickly they're going to do it and how consistent is it going to be.
5 is expensive.
5 is expensive, especially when the objective it comes with only gives you 1 resource.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in the light side in general, and especially within the Rebel faction, don't they have a way of reducing the cost of capital ships?
Yes.
So, yeah.
You can discard cards. I believe they also have there's one objective that lets you discard cards to reduce the cost on ships. I believe there's also another one that lets you damage it to reduce the cost.
I know
Yes, looks like.
I thought both sides had that.
Oh, maybe it is.
Actually, I think it's the one that either comes with Akbar or Home 1 as well.
Okay.
Too. The discard one comes with Home 1.
Another second card of the pack was Green Squadron A-Wing.
Art miss.
Art miss, art fail.
It is an A-Wing, but it's bright red. It's not green.
2 costs, 1 Force icon. I forgot that Liberty had 2 Force icons. 1 black blaster, 1 edge-enabled objective damage. It's a vehicle fighter. Interrupt. When this vehicle leaves play, shuffle an event card from your discard pile back into your deck, and 1 toughness. It's not bad.
It's a ship. flies, it shoots.
Yeah.
It can get it can get an objective damage. It has a unit damage. It dies when Vader chokes somebody.
Yeah.
It feels fairly standard for a rebel fighter.
The only benefit I actually see to this card, and generally at least in this interrupt, is that it lets you shuffle your deck.
That too.
And I mean, there's been times in games where you just have horrible drawing off the top of your deck, and you probably just wish you're like, I wasn't going to shuffle my
So
deck.
many
you know?
times.
It gives you that mental happy feeling.
Because the chances of you putting a single event back in your deck, shuffling, and then seeing that event again are slim. Let's be fair. But the fact you can shuffle your deck and get that mental state maybe going, there's something to be said about
when
that.
I play the Jedis and you play the event, let's you look at the top 5 cards and pick a Jedi, and you look at those 5 cards, you're like, oh my god, those are crappy cards coming.
Yeah.
And there's no way I could shuffle my deck. Yeah, you're right. It is a good point.
So what else they come with?
Rebel Fight Bay is one force icon, 1 resource, location, enhance player area. Resources generated by this enhancement can only be used to play vehicles. It's okay. I'm assuming this really pushes you into a vehicle type of
It's
deck.
an edge card.
It is not an edge card. That does not say limited on it. You
Yes.
can play that and
I guess
another.
that's true, yeah.
You can ramp your resources real quick with a couple of those.
I'm the most amateur Star Wars player at this table, so
That's fine.
No. They started printing cards like this that have limited use,
Okay.
but don't have the limited keyword, and that makes a huge
See,
difference.
that's the part I missed there, because I'm looking at this and go, why would I want a resource that
Because it looks worse
maybe
than
only uses for 30%
it looks
of my
worse
deck?
than like the Dagobah one or Cloud City Casino and stuff like that. But no, this is actually fantastic if you're running vehicle heavy deck.
And then we got not the last one was the Force, the Echoes of the Force, but evasive maneuvers, 0 cost, 2 Force icons, maneuver, event, interrupt. When a vehicle leaves play, return it to the owner's hand.
Great. As you all know, recursion is fantastic.
Yes.
Any type of recursion.
And your A-Wing will shovel that back in when it dies.
Yep. And the good thing about it is you play this with the deck you were playing, the snow speeders.
Yep.
Bring back your key Rogue One, Rogue 2 for the
name
combo.
speeders.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Alrighty, up next I've got a Wookiee's Journey, which is a Smugglers and Spies affiliation only Tatooine objective set. It is 5 health and has 2 resources. So immediately right there, a 5/2 with no text. That's fairly standard. For a no text, usually they have 5 either extra health or extra resources. Wookiees tend to be a little bit pricey, so it's good to have the 2 resources available. The main, the keynote card of this set is a Wookiee named Lowrick, who apparently is a character from their new role-playing game. Not actually an extended universe
What's
character, but it's
that?
from the
Wow.
role-playing
He's
game.
also Chewbacca's son.
Oh, okay. So,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's brown like Chewie. Fur. He is a 4-cost character. He has 3 Force icons, which is good. He's got 3 health as well. Actually, 3 is kind of except for the cost, 3 is a kind of common number here.
Yeah.
Because he has 3 unit damage as well, all of which are not edge dependent. He gets to shoot somebody for 3 every time he attacks.
He hurts.
He's a character and he's a Wookiee, which is a big deal. He's elite, which is good. And each Wookiee unit you control gains a non-edge dependent objective damage,
Which gives
including
him
him. So he gets it as well. This guy's awesome. He makes the other Wookiee pod that much better. Because all of the Wookiees that come in that will get, including Chewbacca, will get extra objective damage. They're already heavy on the unit damage. He's got 3 Force icons. If you need to throw something away for Force, he's good. If you have the other Wookiee pod in play, so you build your Smugglers and Spies deck and you got both the Wookiee pods out, he gets Protector. It's a great card.
So let me ask you this, since you guys have played this game longer than I have, and I look at this and I go, why are they continuing to give the light side really play Smugglers and Spies? Because everybody's running Smugglers and Spies, and now you take this pod, which, let's be fair, Smugglers and Spies from my point of view seems to have the most damage for objectives in all 3 of the houses, right?
Actually, Smugglers tends to not have as much objective damage as a Speeders type deck does.
Oh, okay.
That's for Moxie.
But it's weird that this would be Smugglers
If I'm wrong,
and Spies.
let us know in the
Yeah.
comments. Yeah.
So it's kind of odd because you feel like this would slot really well into like a Rebel deck or something like that, because you would want to have the extra blaster damage or the extra objective damage that you get from this, and instead you're kind of forced into, well, if you're already going to be playing Smugglers and Spies, well, you might as well commit more to
I
Smugglers
think it's
and
because
Spies.
it's a Wookiee.
It's true. In building decks recently, I have noticed that Smuggler, the Wookiee, I believe it's the Wookiee pod is Smugglers and Spies only.
Yep.
This one is Smugglers and Spies only. Lando is Smugglers and Spies only. There are a lot. It feels like there are a lot more they require you to be playing just Smugglers and Spies.
Yeah, it's like a mono part of the faction rather than sharing the love amongst the rest of the light side. But it's a little interesting, you know.
It is. That's actually a good point to bring up. Thank you. All right, our next card is a Loyal Wookiee, who is a 3-cost character. He has 1 Force icon. He's got 3 health, which is fairly common for the Wookiees. He has 2 unit damage and 1 edge-dependent objective damage. And he has a reaction after a unique character you control, a character unit you control leaves play. Put this unit into play from your hand. Free guys are awesome. They shoot one of your guys, you get a free Wookiee.
Yep.
He's got solid stats. If you have Lorik out, he's doing, and you win the edge, he's doing 2 objective damage.
The key point is not destroyed on his leave play. We have seen several pods that let you bounce stuff to your hand.
Yeah, going back to hand is leaving play.
You know,
so.
leaving play. Leia, the original Leia, you know, amazing with this guy.
But you know, unfortunately, again, because this is Smuggler and Spies only, it seems like it's a little bit harder to actually enable that.
Yes, because you don't have the Kyle Katarn pod.
No, but you just because it says Smuggler only, that means your card has to be that.
Yeah, but generally,
so you
though,
can splash this.
from what I understand, when you're deck building in this game, you want to pick your face card to be the faction that you're representing the less of.
Yes.
So if you're committing to already to Smugglers and Spies.
So you might build for example, you might build a Jedi deck that runs Wookiee's Journey, 2 Wookiee's Journey, and 2 of the other Wookiee pod, and then 6 Jedi.
Yes.
But you have to run the Smugglers and Spies face card. So it's not really a Jedi deck, it's a Smugglers and Spies that's splashing Jedi at that point.
But that's kind of one of the neat things is you really can't get a good read for your opponent just by what house card or face card they're playing.
Very true.
It comes down to what objectives you see. It really tells you what it is. Next up card is ridiculous. It's very limited in play, but what it does is crazy good. It's a 1-cost card called Heart of a Wookiee. It has 2 Force icons, and it's an enhancement. It enhances a Wookiee unit, so it's only playing on your Wookiee cards. Enhanced unit gets +3 damage capacity.
You play this on Chewbacca.
You play this on any Wookiee, and they become 6 health. You play it on Chewbacca, it's great. You play it on the generic, it's not Loyal Wookiee, it's like Wookiee Warrior or whatever from the other pod. If he's got 5 damage on him, he's got like 11 damage icons.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
It's silly. This guy is very solid. I like it a lot.
And, you know, and that's the interesting thing about Star Wars that I actually do like is there's not a lot of enhancement hate right now. So unlike a lot of other games where attachments, especially positive attachments, become something you really don't ever want to play because they just easily get removed. I mean, this is not going to go anywhere.
No, it will go away when your opponent has done 6 damage to that Wookiee.
Yeah. That's
probably just about it. Our next card is a enhancement called Faithful Companion. It costs 2 and it has a resource on it. It is a enhance your play area card, and I always love the way that sounds. Enhance your play area. It sounds like a fancy playmat. It is limited, so you're only playing 1 of these per turn. Each Wookiee unit committed to the Force gets +1 Force icon. So this gives you the opportunity to take the Force and make it really hard for the dark side to get it back.
I mean, look at Lorik.
Lorik becomes 4 icons. Loyal Wookiees become 2. I believe Chewbacca would become a 3 at that point. Very good. Yeah, very good card. And even if you don't have any Wookiees out, it's still, I mean, you're spending 2 for a 1 resource, which isn't great, but you're still building up towards future turns having more economy.
Yeah, 2 for 1 is the one that hurts.
Yeah, that turn is rough.
You're going to commit Lorik anyways because he's elite,
yep.
So why not, you know?
Yep. And finally, you have the fake card Echoes of the Force, which we talked about earlier. You may commit a target unit to the Force or remove it from the Force. Yep, it still does the same thing it did when it was in the Imperial pod.
Alright, so moving on, we're going to move into the Jedi objective set, and I will just say that the Jedi part of this is what actually got me into Star Wars. And I'm glad that we're finally seeing in the card game that the Jedis are actually getting sets of objective pods that are actually buffing them as a faction. So,
I also like that just about all of them are their main character pods.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of them is either a movie main character or an expanded universe powerful character.
So we've got Ties of Blood. This has got Luke talking to Leia on Endor, assumingly telling her that, hey, I'm actually your brother and you need to stop kissing me. So, this is a 1 resource, 5 health objective, fairly typical again. It's an Endor objective. Have we seen a lot of support for Endor stuff yet, or is this
just the second?
This is the second one. The first one, no, we've seen a few, but I think this is the second light side one.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's an Ewok pod that has that was for the light side, and then on the dark side you had an Endor Gambit, which is an Imperial Navy Endor with all the ATSTs in it.
And this reads, reaction. After an opponent's conflict phase ends, deal 1 damage to a target enemy objective if that opponent has not declared at least 1 engagement this turn. So, this is going to be interesting, right? So, if you flip this turn 1, against the dark side.
They don't have an engagement phase.
Oh, so they completely skipped the
They
engagement
skipped
phase.
No,
Okay.
we had that the first time we played. This came out. We looked at it. I was like, "Do you just get a free shot the first turn?"
Yeah, because I just
that's
assumed
kind of bull.
that they're just not allowed to initiate engagements.
No,
I didn't realize they
you
actually
skip the
it.
engagement
Okay.
phase. Just like the Imperial side does not get a refresh phase.
Rebels.
Rebels. That's what I said.
So
they skipped the
Yeah.
as a guy who kind of just dabbles in the game right now, I look at this and I go, this prevents the dark side from turtling.
Yes.
They sit there and do nothing. You get to shoot at their guys.
Yes.
Well, at an objective.
Or at an objective.
So,
Yeah.
you know, as a dark side player, then you weigh this as, do I really care if they're doing 1 point of damage turn to an objective? And I'm just preventing all the rest of it coming through. And you probably don't. But, I mean, again, though, it still does force the dark side to do something. But it does build up.
It'll build up, and all of a sudden it makes it that their one character that they can sneak through on a turn actually blows up an objective and hurts them.
Exactly.
Plus, it's from the Jedis. Jedis have a lot of this force icons.
Yep.
So Jedis usually is not an aggressive first turn go on your face deck. They're okay. We'll take the force to slow down the game. So.
All right. So next up we have Leia Organa. This is what, the second version of Leia?
Yes.
Yep.
She's at 3 cost, 2 health.
Okay.
3 force icons. She's black blaster, black objective damage, black tactics. She's a character force sensitive, so she's not a full-blown Jedi yet.
Nope.
Reaction: after an opponent's conflict phase ends, deal 1 damage to a target ready unit. If the balance of the force is with the light side, deal 2 damage instead.
Oh, she's so good.
So right off the bat, this is basically, if you're not going to defend, I'm going to do damage to your dude. I mean, that's really what it is.
If you're not going to attack. Because after an opponent's...
Oh, the opponent's conflict phase.
So they have to swing with every single one of their guys in order to prevent this effect.
No, they can't prevent it.
Yeah, they can, because it only deals damage to ready units.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So if they swing with everybody, everybody's got an icon, a thing on them.
Focus.
There's nobody, a focus.
Well, interestingly enough,
Sure,
she's
you're
actually kind of counterintuitive with herself, because she tactics down one of their dudes, and you can't do the damage to her either. So, you know, it's kind of a little counterintuitive with her tactics.
But if you're not defending, if you don't, if they don't attack, you can't defend, so you can't tactics, so you get to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And if you've got the force, you're shooting something for 2, you're probably killing a card at that point.
So this is again another one of those you're not going to sit there and turtle on me kind of cards. So and
that's actually you can't defend it all, otherwise you get shot, which is pretty brutal.
all the are black icons. So.
Yep. Don't need to win the
She's very, very vulnerable to her daddy.
Yeah.
Spoilers, just in case you haven't seen Star Wars. But
yeah, I mean, 2 health. I mean, she's gonna
get
quick.
Yeah.
Force choke with Vader.
Force choke, dead. Targeted strike, dead.
Mara just writes the word with her.
And as a dark side player, she needs to die.
Yes.
Because she will hurt you in ways you can't describe.
All right. Next up, we have an Ewok companion. More Ewoks. Everybody loves Ewoks. 1 cost, 1 strength. Actually, I'm surprised he has a black blaster. I would have expected an edge-enabled blaster on a character like this, but that's cool.
He's got a lot for 1 cost.
He's a character, he's an Ewok, and he has shielding. So we all know shielding's great. You shield Leia and hope to God that you survive, and you know, prevents the force choke.
Shielding makes you 3 health.
Yeah. So yeah, you know, just generally, it's a chud, but it's a decent chud. Has a good stat line. So yeah. Next up, we have Leia's Command. This is a 1 cost event. Reaction: after an opponent's conflict phase ends, deal 1 damage to each ready unit and objective controlled by that player. This damage cannot be prevented by shields. So again, we're seeing the whole theme of this pod is either you do something with your dudes every turn, or I'm going to start wiping the board.
Yeah. And the fact that it gets past shielding, that's big.
Yeah.
Is that the first card that gets past shielding?
No, there's a couple.
Oh, there's okay. Sorry, I've been out a little bit.
Next up, we have Native Support. This is a enhancement. It's 2 cost, 1 force icon, 1 resource. It's an Endor enhancement. Enhance your play area. Remove a shield from a card you control to remove 1 focus token from this enhancement or from a friendly Ewok unit. Again, combos really well with the Ewok. I'm going to put a shield on the Ewok or Leia, and then I'm going to use this to remove a focus token.
It costs 2, but it's not limited. So once you get past that the initial sting of that spending 2 for a 1 resource, it's a good resource. And yeah, if you can, you're just shielding because shield something because, and then
And then hey, look, we have protection. Put a shield on a unit or objective.
Yeah. So that entire pod is about forcing the dark side to do stuff, which is a great step in the right direction from the.
Yeah, I like it when there's these established decks, and we come up with this pod that makes those decks, hey, don't do the stuff you normally do.
And also, dark side can still play that way. You're just actually going to be able to do stuff against them too, and it's going to hurt them. And eventually, if you get Leia and 2 copies of Ties of Blood out, you're doing 2 objective damage and you're doing 2 unit damage.
It adds up.
It adds up very quickly, and the dark side, basically, that's the punch in the face the dark side needs to be like, okay, I need to play the game. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, and not that you wouldn't, like, for example, swing with Palpatine every turn, or at least get him focused because you want to use his abilities. But if you didn't, I was like, I'm going to kill Palpatine if you don't use him.
Also, the fact that Leia's ability doesn't require her to be unfocused or ready, it just happens.
And because we're horrible, we went out of order and we skipped one of the dark side pods.
Yeah.
So.
We're going back and forth. All good.
Okay, this is some. Not Smugglers.
Scum and villainy.
Scum and villainy.
The droid's task is a 5/1 Tatooine reaction. After your draw phase begins, reduce the reserve value by 1 until the end of the phase and deal 1 damage to a target unit that is committed to the Force. This is the same as Defense Protocol for the Imperials, except that it was only to characters committed to the Force. I like that. I like that this faction goes against committed people in the Force, which is very thematic, and it makes sense, you know. And I'm curious if they're going to keep on not reprinting, but giving abilities that the Imperials have or the Sith to them, but with the committed to the keyword, to commit to the Force.
I'm totally cool as long as I've got a decent board presence, going down to 5 cards in hand to be able to shoot something, to be able to deal damage. That you'd like to uncommit something. Like basically, if you can kill someone who's committed, makes taking the Force back that much easier.
Well, that and there's so little healing in this game. The ways to remove damage that any damage that you can do over time just adds up.
The best way to heal is usually just to let that character die and play a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, the most weighted character we've been waiting for a while. 5 costs, IG-88. He's unique. He has 2 blaster damage, black icons, 1 objective damage, black, and white, 1 white objective damage. Droid, bounty hunter, elite. This unit gains a blaster and a tactics icon, both of them black, while there's fewer than 3 enemy units committed to the Force. It works very good synergy. You're shooting those guys with your objective. Then he becomes stronger. Then he becomes, that was 6 icons. 5 costs is kind of a little steep.
He does have the 3 health to get around.
Yeah. Getting one-shotted.
Yeah.
But this is IG-88, man. And it has he's very special because he has a very weird shadow.
Yeah.
The shadow does not match what he's doing.
Being underlit and having your shadow come off to the side is a very special skill.
Yes, which is not in the key. It's
not to knock the artist, but
so I will say this as a thematic guy, I don't agree that droids should have Force icon. I mean, I know they have to because it's the gameplay.
It's a game balance.
But it's a droid. It has no ties to the Force whatsoever.
Doesn't Grievous has it? Is he a droid?
No, he just uses lightsabers.
And Grievous is not a droid, he's a cyborg.
Yeah. He's still a little bit human.
He's got the parts that, that spoilers, Obi-Wan shoots and they kind of light on fire and explode. Because those are like parts in flammable liquid.
2 of them. Reprogrammable DRK-1 droid. 1 cost, 1 Force icon, 1 black unit damage. They're a droid. This unit gains targeted strike while there's no enemy units committed to the Force. 1 health. Again, back to the thematic, to the pod. Killing those committed people. This gets target strike, and we all know how good target strike is.
It's going to be very rare that you're going to get that ability.
Yeah, I think it happens a lot against vehicle decks.
It makes me wish that that pod came with Echoes of the Force or something.
But I mean, to be fair, uncommitting all 3 of the light side characters is going to be rough. So,
and then this card is so good. 2 cost. It's an event. 2 Force icons. Sonic detonation. Action. Capture 1 of your opponent's Force card from his supply at this objective of your choice. Treat it as a captured card, and if it ceases to be captured, it is returned to the supply. So, you play this, now they only have 2 cards that are committed to the Force. Which, again, back to everything is, that automatically triggers IG-88. It could make your droids better, if they can't commit it. If you play 2 of these, you're capturing, and you draw them early, you capture 2 of them, so they only have 1. This with a deck that gives you bonuses for controlling the Force is very, very good.
A few important notes on this card. It has to come from their supply, so you cannot steal force cards off of characters that have them attached. And also, this came up in forums questions. If you capture a force card at one of your objectives, and it's an objective that either an objective or a card that lets you discard captured cards to draw cards, for example, I think it's Incineration Chamber.
Oh, wow.
They go back to your opponent's supply. They say if at any time I think it's the rulebook says anytime a force card will be discarded, it goes back to the supply. So because people were talking about trying to recur this to steal all 3 of the cards and get them in the discard pile and just laugh at your opponent. It doesn't work.
And
thankfully.
To put a cherry on it, Echoes of the Force.
What?
Who would have thought?
Oh,
So if they commit their 3 guys, you uncommit one of them, and IG88 goes crazy.
you know, you attack, you got you guys committed, I defend with IG88, I'll force stack, uncommit your guys, I have an action, capture your thing, IG88 goes crazy, and good game.
So it makes you wonder with events like that, for example, and that's not the only bonkers event we've seen recently. If we're going to start getting more cancel kind of style effects in the game. There's a few right now,
There's some.
but they're mostly on objectives, so you have
Their
a
objectives are on Sith cards or Jedi cards.
so you have a very low chance still of seeing them. And with the deck building the way it is in Star Wars, where you have to pick your pods, you can't actually pick your deck per se, it makes you wonder if you have to start paying more attention to pods that have canceling abilities in them now.
Right. So overall, we've had, what, 3 amazing pods in there.
Yeah.
The Imperial Navy pod has got some strength to it, but it's got a really expensive character.
Good Jedi.
And then the fantastic, a new vehicles pod for Rebels is great too. I think overall, really strong for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for anything that forces people away from smugglers and spies and Sith.
I agree.
Because
Unfortunately, this one pushed people back into smugglers.
yeah, but you know, the support we've seen recently for Scum and Villainy is great because people need to be encouraged to play something other than Palpatine, Vader, and here's a bunch of events where I kill everything on board.
It's really hard because if you played a lot of us, the game's fairly new. A lot of us have been playing since the beginning, and in the beginning, Scum and Villainy you couldn't play it because they're just
garbage.
There wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You only had you can only play it as half of a deck in core, and they've gotten so much support. But those of us, if you haven't been playing or you don't keep up with what's coming out, Vader and Palpatine is still viable since day one.
Yeah.
So it's great to see them trying to push out of that mold, break that mold. And get away from the whole dark side sits there thing, because it's a very non-interactive game, and this game above all of this should be really interactive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you for joining us, and see you next video.
Have a good one.
It binds all things.
Yep.